Did Jesus curse the fig tree before or after driving the merchants from the temple?
Before or after?
Correct. Either one will do, so good answer there.
Contradiction. Jesus drives out the money men from the temple. Then Jesus curses the fig tree. Jesus curses fig tree. Then Jesus drives out money changers. It appears so. Let's take a closer look. Contradiction. Jesus went into the temple of God and drove out all those who bought and sold. In the morning, seeing a fig tree, he came to it and found nothing on it but leaves, and said to it, "Let no fruit grow on you ever again." Immediately the fig tree withered away. Matthew 21:12 and 17-19. Now the next day he was hungry, and seeing from afar a fig tree having leaves, he went to see. He found nothing but leaves. Jesus said to it, "Let no one eat fruit from you ever again." And Jesus went into the temple and began to drive out those who bought and sold in the temple. Mark 11:12-17. It looks like it. Were both Matthew and Mark narrating a step-by-step set of consequential events? No. Mark was. Matthew was not. How can we see this? In Matthew are various events, and not necessarily in order. There are a category of things in Jerusalem, in relative order there, but not with other places. The very healing of the blind in the temple, in between the story of the fig tree elsewhere and the overturning of the money-changing stables in Jerusalem, shows this. In Matthew's account, the word Kai is repeatedly attaching the various portions without an overall chronological emphasis. It is just a means to put together all the different things that happened in Jerusalem in the time prior to the betrayal and the crucifixion. However, both Matthew and Mark mention the cursing of the fig tree on the second day. Now in the morning, as he returned to the city, now the next day. In Matthew, throwing out the money changers was the next big event in Jerusalem, after the triumphal entry of Jesus sitting on a colt. So, this is how Matthew mentions it. Then Jesus went into the temple of God and drove out all those who bought and sold in the temple. Mark instead is careful to mention things step by step, chronologically, so that on the day of the triumphal entry, he finishes that day with, "And Jesus went into Jerusalem and into the temple. So when he had looked around at all things, as the hour was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12. No time to heal a blind man here. Then, both mention the next day as the day for the cursing, since it happened early in the morning whilst re-entering Jerusalem. So, if both were doing a step-by-step recount in order, yes, a contradiction is apparent. But only Mark is doing this. Matthew, as the writer of the first Gospel, is only highlighting the main events in relative order in Jerusalem. Contradiction? No.